hello everyone, and thank you for the invitation. So I think the best way for me to tell you what TrustSwap is to tell you a little bit about how we got started and why we decided to build a TrustSwap on Trust EVM. So I was checking the news not long ago, and I got across this news about a new EVM and got my attention. And I was very curious because there was some interesting information of how it worked, how it was connected, some technical decisions around it that got my attention. So then I said, okay, I'm gonna test this and see what is it about. So then I went and configured it, and a few minutes later I had some coins from the faucet, and it was working really well. And then I said, okay, I'll give a try deploying some Solidity contracts. So I tried. I think the first contract I tried, it was a token contract, and it was working really fast, very easy, and it got my attention how fast it was. I had worked before in other EVMs, Ethereum and Binance and so and so, and it just got my attention how fast this EVM was. I was like, what is this? How are they able to make it work so fast? So that was really interesting. And so I said, okay, I'll do another thing. I'll try these other contracts and start testing a few contracts, and everything was just working, and it was working well. There was no problems with compatibility. Everything just worked. So I started to go deeper into EOS and joined the community and started to share with the community all these things that I'm doing. I'm like, hey guys, I deployed these contracts, and looks very interesting. And the community was very responsive. It was like, yes, we're doing this, we're doing that. Why don't you try this? Why do you try that? So I started doing that. I started testing more contracts and getting feedback from the community. And then we started this circle of information, and then I started seeing this community that was well organized, that had all these projects, that had all these ideas and all these things going, and that got my attention. So I said, wow, this is a really great community to build on. So they have this great community and they have this great platform. So I should try to go beyond the test and try something more challenging. So the next thing I did was, okay, I'm gonna deploy the basic infrastructure contracts, and I tested deploying. I think it was multi-cal contract, and I tried deploying rapid EOS contract, and everything just worked. So I say, okay, I'm gonna deploy something even more challenging. So I then took the code from Uniswap and put it together, and very easily it was working like magic. It was working, but it was working fast. It was just, when we do a swap on Trust EVM, it's just like lighting. So the user experience for it's so good that it's just gonna get a lot of attention from users. So I say, I have to build something. I have to create something and become part of this community. And the community was very welcoming. So I said, okay, I have deployed this, and people started testing it and trying it and giving me feedback. And the next step was, well, I want to build a company around this infrastructure. I want to build a company around this community. So then I was looking for, okay, but how do we found it? We need some resources, we need some guidelines, we need a way to make this happen. And so we were directed to the ENF Grant and Pomelo. And then we say, okay, we're gonna apply for an ENF grant. And the process was extremely easy, and it's so well organized. Basically, there is this GitHub repository that you clone, and then inside the clone, the code or the text there's a basic layout of information you fill, and then you create a pull request with it, and that's it. It's very, very easy. It's very, very simple. We send an outline of our project, and it was reviewed by the ENF Foundation, and then we got a little feedback, and later, a little time later, we were funded. We have now the funds, and we have the backing and the support to create something extremely good on top of Trust EVM. So that's what we're doing, and that was the start of TrustSwap. So I want to extend a little bit of what this how was TrustSwap started. You know, it's a swapping service, but we want to take it further. We want to solve an important thing in the ecosystem, and that's being able to show you what is cool inside the ecosystem, right? What are the new projects and their tokens that are going up and that should get attention from the community, and what things are probably cooling down and shouldn't have so much attention. So that's what we're trying to do. We're creating this service on top of Trust EVM with an amazing user experience. Lets you quickly swap tokens for very low fees, and at the same time give you this information of what's cool, what's the next big project, what is the next token that you might want to get before the price goes up, or what project probably is cooling down a little bit and maybe it's time to sell. So Trust EVM allows us to create these things, and this compatibility layer. You know, it's extremely important to have this compatibility layer, because then you're not closed to the other networks. You're able to reach further. You're able to bring value in, and you're able to export your ideas, your products. So say someone creates a project inside the EOS ecosystem, and that project contains a token. It's probably a really great idea that token, that project becomes available further and gets access to more liquidity and more people. So that's why this compatibility layer is so important, and it's just it's so important that we build on top of it. So that's a little bit of Trust Swap and what we're doing. The idea of not just staying with the basic swap service, but also adding this layer of being able, of this idea of being able to discover what is cool and what's hot, what's cooling down, and being able to make your choice, to have a broad list of options of tokens, and being able to select from those options. So that's what we have now. But we see further, and we want to take this beyond what has already been done. These are not new ideas, but we're empowering these ideas because we have this solid foundation, a really fast, scalable, compatible EVM that we can build on top of. So we're bringing, and there's just a broad number of contracts and ideas that can just be easily ported into Trust EVM. The compatibility is great. It means that you can just take these other ideas and bring them and improve them, because you have this quick finality, quick blocks, and that just improves the user experience so much. You know, at the beginning we have these 10 minutes blocks on Bitcoin, and then when Ethereum came and had this 15-second block, it felt so fast. But nowadays, you know, paying hundreds of dollars on Ethereum for a transaction and having to wait 15 seconds, 20 seconds, it doesn't feel so good. So we have this new platform where we can have really fast blocks. You know, you just click and swap is done, and you paid, you know, very small fees. So, and then we want to take it further. So this is really cool. I want to share with everyone some ideas that go beyond what is available today, and it goes into what we can build, what this platform allows us to build. So we had coins. That's how this crypto revolution started, right? We had coins, and then we have coins like Bitcoin and Litecoin and EOS, and then we have tokens like USDT and a plethora of tokens. And newer ideas came later, like NFTs, not fungible tokens. Like each token is different from the next one. So I want to tell you about the next thing. What comes next? what's going to be the next big thing in crypto. And there's Vitaly Buterin. He sees the future. He sees the future, and he talks about this new idea called soul-bound tokens. Soul-bound tokens. So what are soul-bound tokens? The crazy thing is that soul-bound tokens is something that already existed in EOS before. Soul-bound tokens, at its core, it's about identity. It's about identity. So let's explore a little bit what is soul-bound tokens. So soul-bound tokens are these tokens, that are given to you, and once you receive them, you cannot send them away. They're just part of your private key or public key. You receive this and you cannot send it away. So how is this usable? I said at its core, soul-bound tokens, it's about identity, right? So if you receive a soul-bound token from a registration company, from an identity company, that company is certifying that you say that you are who it says you are, right? It's not like you're not a bot, you're not a sock puppet. You are who you say you are. So you solve this idea. You solve this problem of social networks having lots of spam bots or whatever, because now with your soul-bound token and your certification, there's no way that there's a filter there for bots, right? So soul-bound tokens are this idea that makes it possible for identities to be real, to stop bots, to stop spam accounts. But it doesn't stop. It doesn't end at identification or identity of people. It goes way beyond identities. So for example, not only people can have identities, but anything else can have an identity. A car, for instance, a car might have an identity, right? So that car has got its digital identity, and it might receive a special soul-bound token that allows it to park in certain parking spaces, right? That's a soul-bound token, and it's applied to that car or to the person that drives that car. Maybe that person has got a disability, right? So a certification company then creates this soul-bound token and gives it to this person. So this person is now able to drive his car into this special place in the city. Or a company might be doing great reducing his carbon footprint, right? A company or a service might provide a soul-bound token to this company, to the identity of this company. So for example, they now can receive they need to pay lower taxes. And so we can apply this idea of soul-bound tokens to lots of things, not just people, but things, cars, companies, cities, parks, anything can receive a soul-bound token. And so you have this immense domain of things receiving digital identities and properties. And then we can start connecting these ideas. How they are related. For example, you go to a restaurant, right? And you provide a review to the restaurant. That review is a soul-bound token. And because it came from a person that's got a soul-bound token, which verifies a real person identity, you know that that review is true. It's not someone that paid to get a review, but that review comes from a real person, not from 100 bots, not from 100 spam accounts or whatever, but from a real person. So this is just the very top of the very small part of what soul-bound tokens are. And it just happens that Trust EVM is the perfect infrastructure, and EOS is the perfect infrastructure to build all these new ideas. So we don't want to stop on what has been done already. We want to innovate. We want to create. And we can do that thank you to the help of the EOS community and the infrastructure that they are creating, that we can bring these ideas to life and hopefully use them to have a powerful impact and improve things in this world. Thank you.